You said, what is the issue with recess? And I said, there's no issue with recess. And then you asked me, are there going to be any changes with recess? And I said, no, that I'm aware of. So that's the conversation, and that's absolutely true at the time. Now, the decision about recess, it's a executive decision at the school level. And why is it different from one school to the next? Well, because number one, if you think about the number of interventions and intervention blocks that you have to build in, when only 30% of the student population is reading on grade level, is way different than a school that has 70% of the students reading on grade level. So, of course, if you are a principal that is concerned about your student population not being able to read and not able to do numeracy or mathematics at a basic level, of course, you're going to build in time to make some decisions that are going to help the students without taking anything away from the students. So if a school makes the decision to have 2 recess for a grade level and 3 recess for another, that should be fine, because that's a conversation that that principal has with their teachers. But I cannot pretend that I'm in another campus and I hear that the other campus is having 3 recess in kinder while I'm having 2. Well, then I'm wondering, is that conversation really about students, or is it really about the adults? Because the conversation about recess on time has to be taken in the context of the other times, right? So when you have snack time built in, and snack time means snack, and everybody stops and snacks. And when you have a mental break time, and yes, people just take a mental break. Well, if you start adding all that time, the 3 recess, the transitions, the snack time, the mental break time, then you're really taking away time from kids. Because I guarantee you, you won't have the time to teach reading and math based on the best standards. And no wonder, if you think about the proficiency levels, perhaps there is a relationship between the lack of time on task and the lack of direct instruction. So, of course, I'm not going to manage how the principal at Arrowhead is going to map out her recess with her teachers. I'm not going to manage that. So I stand by the answer I provided you in February or March when we had this conversation. I'm not going to dictate the time for recess or the frequency of recess. What I'm going to say is we have to have 90 minutes of reading. We're going to have 90 minutes of math. We're going to have writing, instruction, health, and PE. We're going to have science and social studies. And they're the experts at the campus level to be able to make those decisions. If that's going to look different from one campus to the next, it will look different because they're different schools. And even the communities have different expectations. So yes, I got complaints too, but I took the time to explain. And I know, like, as a trustee, it will be very complex for you to try to explain my rationale behind maximizing time or ensuring that the kids receive math and reading instruction with certain times. That in the context of the accreditation standards that now we have in place. So this is new standards with different requirements.